about words and, watch what you say. There's a famous song by Terrace Riley that says, your words have no meaning because umesema sorry for such a long time. So I want to talk about that. And also because we asked you the question on our platforms and you were able to respond, we're going to share some of the feedback we got just to paint a picture to also help you understand that you're also not alone in all of this. Many people where you are have been where you are, but that doesn't mean that your pain is not individual. Yes, many people are going through it, but what you're feeling is individual, and you have to deal with that yourself. Right, to help us do that, we have Shazmin Bank.
Yes.
How you doing?
Missouri.
Uko sawa?
Poa BA Itel.
Poa BA Itel. Batman King. Wagwan. Amazing. Good. Hiki negunza wanafanya kazi. All right, Bobby. How you doing? Uko sawa?
Niko salama sana.
Uko freshi?
Niko freshi barida. Niko amazing. Niko better than best.
Uko better than best.
Ah, amazing. Niko sina your accent.
Yeah, man. Yeah, better than best.
They tweak. Yeah. But niko salama sana wewe?
Yeah, hata mimi niko poa. Niko poa sana. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
That's really
and CJ.
How are you doing?
I'm super.
All right.
Doing very well. I'm happy.
You're happy? Okay.
Yes, I'm happy. I'm just happy generally this morning, also because I had liver for breakfast. But yeah, I'm very happy. All right, so I want to jump into this conversation. And many people, if you look at, I was trying to look across, and I've seen, I think, in the Bible, in the Quran, it's called the Bhagavad Gita. I think there is, all of them have something to say about the power of words. So I guess we'll begin there. You also asked the question on your social media. Yeah. And from what we see, a lot of people are carrying around stuff that mainly their parents also said. Of course, there are other things as well. But why is it difficult to talk about this particular hurt that, words cause? How come people are not talking more about it?
Because you're expected not to. You're expected to understand when your parents say something. And I think especially when you're a young teenager and you're living at home, you don't know what to do with what your parents say except believe it. It's only later in life when you grow up and we're in, the information world now where we learn, okay, what can we do with the words that we were told? How can we heal? But when you're so young, you're so naive, your parents are your heroes. You put them on a pedestal. They are almost not human to you. And so anything that your parents say to you, you believe it and it sticks. It sticks in your psyche, it sticks in your body. You hold on to it as energy. But what's worse that parents don't realize, when you say negative words and you put your children down and you say things to them, even though it's in anger, what you don't realize is the child is consistently repeating that in their subconscious mind. So for you, it might be a moment of you're useless, you should have never been born, you're the worst thing that happened, you'll never succeed in life. And now it's out. And as a parent, you probably feel, I probably shouldn't have said that. That was in the heat of the moment. But the child or the teenager or the young adult is already dealing with so much in their own lives, already feeling inadequate, fitting into school, with their grades, with their friends, with their teachers. And now you as a parent, when you say that to them, they are playing it over and over in their minds. And when they do not succeed as teenagers and young adults, that comes back because mom and dad said that I'm useless, because I will not succeed. And you don't realize that your subconscious mind is 95% of who you are. Your conscious mind is only 5%. But to be able to even access the subconscious mind, you got to get through the analytical mind. And we stop as human beings and teenagers because the frontal lobe's not even developed till 25. And so you are living their words instead of being taught not to. You grow up saying sticks and stones will break my bones, but words, but they do hurt me because I don't know what to do with that pain. So it does hurt me and it does stay in my psyche. And I think for me, the most heartbreaking thing yesterday was literally seeing that, putting that poll on our Instagram, almost 80% of what everyone was saying, even if they were adults, was what their parents said to them when they were young.
Yeah, and some have they remember, like, when I was 15, when I was 12, when I was 9, and even something to say to their brothers and everybody else. But Bobby, sometimes people say that some of these things, people will tell you, no, use it, fight so that, you use it as fuel to get you to the next level. So there is that, what looks like a balance. But then clearly, looking at some of those people, those who have written their jobs in the bio, some were doctors, some were lawyers, some are fairly successful, at least by social media standards. But still, the way they were expressing themselves, they still carry the heart. So how does one, kind of process?
You see, the things with feelings, and I say this all the time, is that you can't wish them away. Feelings are meant to be felt. They are supposed to be present. You're supposed to deal with them in the time that you feel them. So it doesn't matter whether you use it to fuel yourself or manini, whatever consequences come after what you felt is later. But when something happens to you or when you're feeling something, you need to validate that feeling. And you need to understand that it is very okay, it's very normal, it's very valid for you to be feeling the way you're feeling, and deal with it in the time that it exists in that time. There's something CJ said, Kitambo, about 2 episodes ago. He was telling us a story about his dad. And something clicked in my mind that day. He was talking about how he'd been keeping all this anger and hurt, and then his whole career is based off of the things he went through because of his dad. So then you start to see that later, okay, the fueling part and the nini, it comes, but you have to be patient and you have to go through your feelings now. You'll not see it'll push you to become a better person in that moment that you're feeling.
You'll just be feeling pain.
Yeah, you'll just be feeling pain.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying you need to feel that pain. You need to sit in it and understand it. And unfortunately, is that most of these things our parents or our siblings or our lovers say to us happen even before, maybe, like Shazmin said, before we're fully developed and grown enough to be able to understand that maybe that's just a projection, or maybe they just said it in the heat of the moment. You can't understand anything beyond the fact that whatever they said hurt your feelings, and it's painful and it's very bad. But after you start growing up is when you start understanding that most of people's reactions is just to do with them. It has nothing to do with you. Whether it's your mom who said, Sijui, you're this, Sama, you did this, Sama, your dad said this. Most times it has nothing to do with you. It's things they feel about themselves. It's anger they've bottled up themselves. It's things they have been through themselves, and now they are mirroring it onto you. So the more you start to grow, you start understanding better, and you start being able to handle these situations better. But in the moment that you're feeling your pain, I think it's very important that we teach people, or we tell people that it's okay for you to validate your feelings. Because if you do not, that's when you start thinking of things like revenge. You start staying bitter. You start dwelling in the anger. You sit in that pain, and you do not see anything else that's beyond. You don't see, oh, maybe I can do something else with my life, or if my mom said this, maybe I can do this. So it takes a lot of growth and time, and you need to be patient with yourself, because for real, before 25, there's so many things that you cannot understand. There's so many things that you can't even comprehend. Like if someone told me 5 years ago, your mom just said that, because I'd be like, nah, she said, she's my mom, she knows better, she's the parent, she's nini. So much anger. But now it's just, she had never been a parent before to a child that age. She's also doing life for the first time. And I'm not saying, Ati, you invalidate your feelings, or you just move past it and forgive and forget. I'm saying that the more you grow, the more you start understanding where people's reactions come from, and it becomes easier for you to not take things personally, and it becomes easier for you to make an intentional choice to start growing and doing better. But until then, any pain that you're feeling, whatever someone said, whatever you feel, or whatever was done to you, your pain is very valid, and it's very advisable for you to feel your feelings and validate them.